Hello there, a warm welcome to tonight's edition of New Vision TV. My name is Barbara Nyamwiza. We come to you live from the newsroom here at the New Vision. Before we start our newscast tonight, we'll take a quick look at what's in our headlines. In news around Uganda, Parliament suspends UPDF operations on lakes. In our special report tonight, farmers advised not to rely on rainfall. Welcome again. This is New Vision TV. We are live from the newsroom here at the New Vision, and you can follow us always on our social media platforms, that is at the New Vision. We're on Twitter at the New Vision, on Facebook. We're also on YouTube, and that is New Vision TV. My name is Barbara Nyamwiza. Do find me wherever else you can try on social media. We start our bulletin tonight with news around Uganda and start from the northern part of this country, where Christmas has come early for the blind, that is the visually impaired people in Gulu town, after the Bible Society of Uganda organized the Christmas party for them. The occasion was organized by the Anglican Christian leaders led by Bishop Johnson Gakumba, and the Bible Society of Uganda also gave the blind celebrants free Braille and audio Bibles. Let's have the details.
As the Anglican Bishop for the Northern Uganda Diocese, Johnson Gakumba, celebrated this Christmas by cutting the cake and distributing food items, audio and Braille Bible to the blind celebrants, he urged Ugandans to support the needy this festive season.
Use this Christmas to lend a helping hand to those next door to us who may not have the means. Those who are sick in hospitals, the prisoners in the prisons, the orphans, the widows, and all those that cannot celebrate Christmas. If we can do the things that Jesus did, we'll be celebrating Christmas meaningfully.
Bishop Johnson Gakumba also revealed that besides the Christmas gifts and party, the Bible Society helps these visually disabled people with free trauma counseling services.
We want to thank the General Secretary, thank the Bible Society for coming to help our visually impaired people. As I was distributing the cakes, I heard one of them say, at least I'm encouraged today. I'll go home encouraged. I will now, have this up to the end of the year. I'll remain encouraged up to the end of the year, because many of them feel abandoned, feel neglected, I know that Jesus came for the least of the least. He elevated the women, the children, the blind, the lame, the sick, the prostitutes, the outcasts in society.
The occasion was used by some of the celebrants who were not born blind to forgive. Francis Okello had been holding a grudge against the government for allegedly making him blind by bombarding his village in Pabo during the LRA war.
I became a victim of bomb blast, and now I am totally blind, but I still have the bomb blast in my eyes right now, and it pains me sometimes. Now, I've been holding the government of Uganda for quite a long period of time. I had nothing to do but other than taking them to court for making me become totally blind. But today, when the Bible Society of Uganda presented a gift to the blind people in northern Uganda, in Gulu district, I felt convicted that what gift can I give the government of Uganda? Even if they have not asked for forgiveness, I am here to say I have forgiven the government of Uganda for what they have done to make me become blind.
While Patrick Owier, who was allegedly made blind by measles at a young age, acknowledged the support of the Bible Society as the best event in their lives.
This Christmas party organized by Uganda Bible Society, it's one of the best events that we, the persons with the visual impairment, we have ever experienced in our life. It has made us to come together. Our colleagues, whom we even don't meet for a while, it has given us the opportunity to meet with them. Others who even come from far away from other districts, and it's really a wonderful event. And we're very happy about it. We pray that it continues.
As the blind shared testimonies and danced around their cake, the Bible Society of Uganda described the celebration as the union between church leaders and the blind.
We chose that we come here and have the party here, have the blind people come, but also the church leaders. Those two people rarely meet. Even in the church setting, the blind sit somewhere, the church leaders in another place. But the community looks at the blind as people who are less privileged, less able, low talents, but the Bible said we have discovered they have a great talent, great potential. I think being blind opens up somebody to other potentials we've never seen.
However, he discouraged people, especially those running organizations, against taking advantages of blind people.
That's the bit of the challenge that we face with the blind people. The third one, in communities, the blind people are kept in back doors. So while you're looking for the blind people, even today, I am sure there are blind people who are not able to come here because their families think these are a curse. But what we've discovered is that when you bring them at the forefront like this, then the family realizes, my child.
Amazing news there from northern Uganda in the district of Gulu. Let's come back here in the city in Kampala, where the General Court Marshal sitting at Makindi yesterday ordered the 4 men who were arrested, who are being charged for murdering mobile money agents to be hanged. Te Bob Anichan, 37, Stanley Mulunda, 30, Dennis Mangusho, 33, and Issa Ntali, 39, were condemned to death after they were found guilty of killing Harriet Nalwada and Maureen Nakabubi, the then mobile money attendants at ZZANA. Douglas Mubiru was at the General Court Marshal and has the details.
The Army Court, presided over by Lieutenant General Andrew Guti, convicted the accused, saying prosecution had proved the case beyond reasonable doubt. The convicts committed a rare of the rarest offense when they gruesomely shot Nalwada in the breasts and died in extreme pain, Guti said. He noted that the 2 victims were shot, the bullets entered through the chest, in the lungs, causing a fracture of the heart, and they died suffering. This was very brutal, a rare of the rarest cases, and I therefore sentence each of you to death by hanging, Guti ruled. He added that the deceased left 2 young children of 5 and 2 years who will never see mother's love again and are now helpless. These ladies were hardworking who sought to begin a business and boost the economy, but they died in the hands of you, the convicts, and with no reasonable doubt, a maximum sentence is appropriate.
Prostitution 14, prostitution 15, and prostitution 16. And this court is satisfied that each of the accused persons participated in committing the offense of murder as charged, and prosecution proved its case beyond reasonable doubt. You are all found guilty of aggravated robbery, contrary to section 285 and 286 subsection 2 para A of the Penal Code Act, and each of you is hereby convicted of the offense. We so rule done at Makini this 18th day of December 2019 under my hand and seal of this court.
Prosecution told court that the convicts and others still at large on June 10, 2019 at ZZANA cell Bunamwaya, Machinde Sabagabo in Wakiso district, with malice aforethought caused the death of Nakabubi and Nalwada. The convicts also robbed Narada of 6.8 million shillings, and immediately, all before the time of the armed robbery, were in unlawful possession of a deadly weapon, to wit 2 SMG rifles. Prior, state prosecutors Lieutenant Colonel Raphael Mujisha and Captain Ambrose Baguma requested for a maximum sentence on grounds that convicts have never reformed, much as they have previously been charged and convicted over various robberies. According to the prosecutors, the convicts participated in the armed robbery of Africa Forex Bureau bullion van in 2015, and over 200 million shillings were stolen. On April 19th, they bought a gun from Aliwara in the DRC. May 4th, they planned and participated in armed robbery of a Turkish national in ZZANA, but they only stole clothes. In the same month, on 14th, they robbed mobile money vendor at Lungu Janatete, and a then Nkozi University student, Raphael Walugembe, who had just graduated, was murdered. On May 17th, This year at Kawoto Kajensi, the gang robbed 17 million shillings from Sanyu Nalukwago, and they also robbed and killed a UPDF junior officer around Kanyarujiri Kabamba. Mujisha said, lastly, after all, that they proceeded to ZZANA where Narada and Nakabubi were murdered. On mitigation, the defense lawyer, Major Silas Mutonji, told court that the convicts are of young age that can reform and be back in society as good citizens, and hence prayed for a lenient sentence. My Lord Chairman and honorable members of this court, the convicts are remorseful, have families expecting a livelihood from them. We pray that you consider the period of time spent on remand and sentence them with a lenience. Speaking to journalists after the sentence, the deceased's brothers Elisha Kato and Robert Kayemba thanked the state for having adduced the required evidence that pinned the convicts.
News from court. And now we head to the city centre, and that is in Parliament, where a debate which was ignited by a report given by Kyoga MP Anthony Okello on an incident last Friday, during which UPDF soldiers, that is one of them that is attached to the Fisheries Protection Unit at Kyoga, allegedly raped a 16-year-old girl and even threatened to kill her. The issue came up for discussion after a heated debate yesterday. Following a charged debate by the legislators yesterday, Speaker of Parliament Rebecca Kadaga prematurely adjourned the House and directed the Defence Minister Adolf Mwesigye to appear and explain actions that have been taken to end abuses perpetrated by the military during operations against illegal fishing.
No sanctions.
Kadaga warned that should the defense minister fail to show up on Thursday morning with an explanation, the House will not handle any other business. During the debate on Wednesday, legislators from across the political divide accused soldiers of the Uganda People's Defense Force of being involved in extortion, torture, killings, and other violations against fishing communities. The debate was ignited by a report given by Chiyonga MP Anthony Okello on an incident last Friday during which the UPDF Fisheries Protection Unit soldier allegedly raped a 16-year-old girl and even threatened to kill her. Okello narrated how the area resident district commissioner caused the parading of the UPDF Fisheries Protection Unit soldiers in the area, and the girl identified the culprit. The Speaker also directed Mwesigye to present a statement to Parliament on Thursday at 10 a.m. on the action of government plans to take a stop on violations. Before she took the final decision on the matter, she asked the legislators to give suggestions on what they think Parliament needed to do to resolve the matter, owing to the fact that the House in the past raised the same concern many times, but the government had not taken the necessary action. During the debate, the Prime Minister, Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda, made attempts to explain to Parliament that the government is addressing the concerns. This August House is not helpless on the issues raised. The soldiers have done some good work in helping the fishing industry to recover. The President has given instructions to ensure soldiers focus on their mandate and that acts of misbehavior are punished. However, Kadaga quickly shut down Rugunda's explanation, saying, "For 2 years, I have been reporting to the President and even giving him names of soldiers who are culprits, but no action has been taken." Kadaga said the impunity with which the head of UPDF Fisheries Protection is operating makes him behave as if he's a king of Uganda. Bokoli Central MP and National Resistance Movement Caucus Vice Person Solomon Selwanyi said, "The indiscipline and extortion by the soldiers on the lakes are shaming. They confiscate vehicles and ask for 6 million to 12 million shillings to return them. As Parliament, we need to take a decision to resolve the matter once and for all." Buvuma MP Robert Migade said, "This issue has been raised in Parliament in the past over 10 times. At one time, Parliament was even suspended. As MPs from fishing communities, we have met the President 2 times over this issue and no action was taken. The Parliament Agriculture Committee investigated the issue and even made recommendations, but no action was taken. The soldiers take your engine and ask you for money to get it back. What is the role of this Parliament?" Jonam MP Emmanuel Ongetho suggested that legislators from the fishing communities needed to withdraw from Parliament since the government had rendered them useless by failing to take action regarding the atrocities of the UPDF unit on the lakes. Arua Municipality MP Kasiano Wadri suggested that Parliament suspends the 10 UPDF MPs to send out a clear message that they are greatly disenchanted. In February 2017, President Museveni deployed a unit of the UPDF to stamp out illegal fishing activities being carried out by people he described as criminals on various lakes in the country. Museveni announced during the 36th Terehe Sit anniversary held in a park at the Boma ground. Statistics at the time showed that out of 21 fish factories that were operating in the country by 2005, only 7 were still operational due to the reduced fish stocks. Museveni argued that the UPDF, which he described as professional and disciplined, would be a good job in monitoring water bodies to get rid of illegal fishing. Although the operation was led to more fish stocks in the lakes, it has been criticized over alleged abuses. The UPDF is also involved in the Operation Wealth Creation Program, which involves distributing seedlings and animals to farmers across the story. Nikki Shilingi for New Vision TV.
There are 10 members of the UPDF here.
Thank you, Nikki Shilingi. We head to Mbarara now, where 3 people died on the spot today morning along the Mbarara-Masaka Highway near Bihare Trading Center. According to Samson Kasasra, the Rizi Region Police spokesperson, the accident happened around 6 a.m. in the morning at Ruagaj in Biharwe when a Range Rover registration number UAM 330Y knocked a Bajaj Boxer red in color.
Kasasra identified the driver of the Range Rover as Frank Reranga, and the occupants of the motorcycle were unable to be identified. He further said that the bodies have been taken to Mbara Regional Referral Hospital mortuary. Kasasira noted that the cause of the accident has not yet been known, but investigations are going on to ascertain the cause of the accident. The case has been recorded at Mbara Police Station under TAR 207/2019.
We apologize for that. We take a short break. When we return, New Vision TV brings you more news. Stay here. Welcome back from that short break. Time for business now with Lynn Komjisha.
In business tonight, the Uganda Export Promotion Board has embarked on provoking people in northern Uganda to cultivate cassava for export. According to Okecho Michael Lawrence, the Information Director, Uganda Export Promotion Board, China has placed a monthly order of 150 metric tons of cassava flour, and people in the region should organize themselves in groups to produce the cassava on a large scale. There is a deliberate effort by the Uganda Export Promotion Board to get the people of northern Uganda to produce cassava on a large scale.
We have come to annoy and irritate the region to take action and produce for exports, because we have come to give you the facts, show you where the markets are, what is required of you, what is expected of you in terms of producing for exports, because we don't want to do things the traditional way.
According to Okecho Michael Lawrence, the Information Director at the Uganda Export Promotion Board, China is ready to purchase 150 metric tons of cassava every month.
But also to tap the available markets. We are neighboring DRC, we are neighboring South Sudan, we are in the vicinity of Central Africa, including Chad, because there are things that come here and go to those markets.
Cassava, introduced in Uganda between 1862 and 1875, is currently one of the most important staple food crops in the country. But Okecho calls for modern farming practices, while the Uganda Export Promotion Board Marketing Executive Stella Ayukoru advises farmers to form groups.
One of the things that we encourage at Uganda Export Promotion Board is for you to belong to an association. If you're a farmer, if you're a producer, at least belong to an association. Just in case a big order comes in, you can always supply it in a group. So that if you're, say, 20 or 30 in a group, and you've been asked to supply maybe 50 tons a week, at least the production capacity is very big, and you can be able to produce in large numbers, and you can be able to satisfy the market.
However, the Igulu District Commercial Officer, Oketa Kenneth, says that despite the abundant fertile land the region has, it has been involved in less profitable small-scale cross-border export to South Sudan, Kenya and Congo.
This sort of trade involved interested buyers from outside linking with our local producers here, and our local producers working as their agents. There are some people who have been buying Sim with companies in Canada. There are people who are buying soya with company in Kenya, and some people who are selling maize using company in Tanzania. So we want them to organize themselves in terms of exporters, not middlemen.
Cassava is the most important staple crop in northern Uganda and plays a big role in the livelihood of a big population in the region. The region is the second largest producer of cassava in Uganda, accounting for 34% of the national production, and there is demand for organic products countrywide. The Food and Agriculture Organization estimates that approximately 3.5 million tons of cassava have been produced from 0.4 million hectares of land in Uganda since it was brought into the country. Report by Joseph Omago for New Vision TV.
Thank you so much, Joseph Omago and Lynn, right there for edition of the Business News Tonight. Now, it's time for a special report, and Uganda's future food security remains threatened due to the fast-growing population, coupled with extreme weather unpredictability and climate change. Now, the fact that the country's agriculture is predominantly rain-fed, it is vulnerable to the harsh weather conditions and changes. However, environment experts have advised farmers at all levels in the country not to rely on rainfall, but to go beyond the usual efforts and adapt irrigation. This is a viable alternative that supplies water to crops for sustainable food security, improved incomes and livelihoods, as we see in this report.
In order to enhance climate change adaptation and minimizing food problems and poverty among farmers, the government, through the Ministry of Water and Environment, in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, has set up and handed over solar-powered irrigation schemes to farmer groups in 5 districts. The pilot schemes, worth over 2 billion shillings, were set up in Kalungu, Gomba, Mityana, Kagadi and Wakiso districts to enable farmers to water their crops during insufficient rain supply in a dry spell and support sustainable agriculture. They are to take 5 years under strict monitoring and maintenance. Mainly, farmers' associations and groups with different enterprises were the primary beneficiaries. Unlike subsistence farming, these enterprise irrigation projects are focusing on putting money in a farmer's pocket by expanding market for their yields and products. According to Engineer Gilbert Chimanzi, the Commissioner, Ministry of Water and Environment, the 5 projects are meant to reduce various challenges sparked by the changing rainfall patterns and to improve crop yields to fight poverty. Chimanzi told New Vision that once the pilot schemes yield success stories, the ministry will extend the same service to other different rural communities across the country.
We want to see how much money the people will earn so that we increase the amount of money in people's pockets, the beneficiaries' pockets, so that we can drive our people out of poverty.
He further maintained that the projects are a special response to empower farmers to increase productivity, value addition, and then benefit from it. Although not many farmers in Uganda are used to technical irrigation advancements, Chimanzi said through these projects' benefits, they will have to change their attitudes. In Mityana, the 600 million shillings project at Kanamba village covers more than 20 acres of the district agriculture training and information center land. It is to benefit over 100 farmers of 4 groups under Nkokonjeru Area Cooperative Enterprise. The farmers' groups are namely Kanamba, Magogolo, Bukanaga and Namukozi. According to the Reverend Canon Benon Semambo, the cooperative vice chairperson, the project has encouraged farmers to resort to growing crops such as bananas, cabbage, onions, carrots, tomatoes, pumpkins, and the underexploited traditional food varieties at risk of extinction. He said the project has turned the plantations into model farms where farmers from different communities learn good farming practices, including irrigation. Daniel Seremba, the Mityana district production officer, said that they wanted all the idle land to be utilized for crop productivity. He noted that their major enterprises are mainly horticulture and vegetables for the cost-benefit analysis. As last year, Edward Luanga, the Cooperative Secretary General, said the land had bushy vegetation and idle land, with the farmers knowing a poor structure. However, early this year, they tried to mulch with elephant grass to preserve atmospheric evaporation.
Vegetation was bush, and it was filled with nothing, and we didn't know what the soil analysis was at that time.
In Gomba, the 519 million shillings irrigation project was set up to benefit the 4 farmer groups, having about 20 households cultivating over 15 acres. For Chirungu Model Farmer Field School, James Chisize, the group chairperson, offered the said land to support the project. He said it was for the good of the community food security, improved livelihoods and development. The farmers mainly grow hot paper and supply exporters to Zahara Food Industries at least 2 tons every week. Engineer Fred Lutaya, the principal mechanical engineer, Ministry of Water, who handed over the project, said the scheme will help to save the swamps and utilize its water at the same time. Ruth Sabit Kashaka, the Gomba Residence District Commissioner, said the district will monitor the project to ensure it serves its purpose, working hand in hand with the district leaders. Kalungu District got the 570 million shillings solar irrigation facility installed at Busoga village to aid over 35 prominent horticulture farmers. The farmers under Busoga Horticulture Farmers Group grow tomatoes, watermelons, green pepper, onions and cabbage. Farmers say they had encroached on several wetlands, but law enforcement authorities evicted them and the crops destroyed. Several of the frustrated residents had abandoned farming, while others had planned to return to the swamp when they learned about the upcoming irrigation project. In Wakiso district, the 400 million shillings irrigation project was established at Mabombwe village to benefit 27 farmers under Magizi Muliro Farmers Group. The scheme covers 5 acres of sprinklers for fruits and vegetable gardens, and 3 acres are covered by drip system installed in hedge garden and banana plantations. Speaking at the handover ceremony, Engineer Joseph Waswe, the manager water for production in the central region, said the farmers need exposure and exchange visits to understand the value of the irrigation projects. Sarah Namuga, the chairperson Works and Water Committee, appealed to the farmers to learn from Vision Group CEO Robert Kapshenga, who has similar irrigation systems at Namayumba Farm. Once such projects come to your community, ensure that you handle it carefully and utilize it for your benefit so as other farmers can learn from you. Nuru Namuli, the District Secretary for Production, said Magizi Muliro farmers were selected for being organized and ready for the irrigation project. Namuli pledged support to the farmers to ensure the project succeeds and urged them to exploit the opportunities of the project for abundant food production. But what are some of the farmers' experiences? Jennifer Katumbe and 5 other women grew cabbages on a portion of half an acre in Kanamba village, and the sprinklers have been installed to provide water. They supply the cabbages to local market vendors and dealers to take them to Kampala. A group of 19 women under Namukozi Agali Awamu Farmers Group, led by Florence Nantale in Kanamba, is destined to producing more onions on their plot, measuring half an acre. However, some farmers are faced with challenges. All the farmers in the 5 districts share virtually similar challenges. Both Sebastian Makuya and Ronald Sendegaya are cabbage, onions and carrot growers in Kanamba village. They decry pests and disease invasion that affect production. In addition, Sendegaya said most of the pesticides and herbicides are fake and expensive. He added that especially the price of NPK spray was hiked from 15,000 shillings last year to 20,000 shillings and above. Apart from a poor attitude towards the new technological irrigation system, Kalungu farmers lack facilities and skills to do value addition on their produces, in addition to poor bookkeeping.
This is all we had time for tonight on our edition of New Vision TV. Join us again tomorrow live here from the New Vision newsroom. My name is Barbara Nyamwiza. Have yourselves a blessed night.